Good morning, everyone. I wanted to do a quick recap on two trades that I took this morning just after market open. Um, one of which was on the Russell 2000, the other was on the Nasdaq. And I took both of these on traditional futures. There were no Nadex trades as of yet today. Um, but I wanted to get this recap out before I let it slip like I've done in the past. Um, so, without further ado, I'll start with the Russell trade. Um, I was short. I know going into the day, a couple people messaged me and they were long. Um, I had my reasons. I first and foremost, there's very quickly a nice little downtrend on the hourly chart. It's got its anchor, its establishment, and then it was going to be tested for the third time. From that initial, this impulse move off of the trend line here down to its first completion level. We've got some nice retracement levels right around that area. So I was looking short anywhere in between these two. So we've got our 50% retracement, resistance, and then our 61.8% retracement. It just so happens that we spiked up past the trend line at market open. Um, and hit pretty perfectly that resistance level right there just before the 61.8, which got front ran a little bit. And our EMA kind of cut right through and got tapped on that spike up. So I opened up my trade. I was short from the 13. What level did I get short? 1362.40. So 1362.40 I was short. So right around here. My stop was up above this high, or this little spike right here. So my stop was up at 1364, pretty much 1365 to start. We had a quick spike down to this trend line that I had here. I wasn't ready to cut it just yet, so I just left my stop where it was. As soon as I saw that we broke this trend line, I trailed my stop down above these highs. Uh, so my stop got moved to 1359.2 or 3. I can't remember exactly. And then as we just continued to plummet down, I really didn't have to adjust my stop too much. I know at one point I adjusted it to just over this 1351 half level. And we broke through the double bottom, and waiting there was a pretty great demand zone. You can see the spike that came off of that, and some nice resistance incorporated with that negative 23.6 fibs. So I was in here, I was out here. That was a pretty good way to start the day. That was a grand total of, it was a $3,400 trade. Um, Now let's move on to NQ. So the Nasdaq, okay. So this one's a little bit more cluttered. It's a little bit more of not a mess, but the reason for my entry was off of this. Let's see if I can make this a little bigger here. And this was all-time highs, so we were treading in some relatively dangerous waters here, but off of this little trend line, this is my anchor. I fibbed up to the top here where it started to pull back, came back down and respected the 78.6 pretty perfectly right off of that trend line again, came up double top back to the trend line and right to the 50%, and then shot right through. And from there, what I was looking for was a test of this upper trend line that I had drawn here. And so that upper trend line kind of matched up pretty nice with the 61.8, and this was moving pretty quick. I didn't want to miss my entry, so I got in just a little bit early. I took some drawdown, but I had a stop that was up around 50.80. But I didn't want to miss this move down, so I got in just before this negative 61.8. It never really touched, got front ran a little bit, and then you can see from there it was just a huge bear candle all the way down, and I got out right at the touch again of this trend line, so I took it from here to here. Pretty simple explanation for why I entered and why I exited. I exited right at this price level of resistance turn support. and test off of this this trend line here. I didn't want to hold for a break of this trend line like I did with the TF this morning, just because we were at all-time highs. I'm not going to be greedy with this one. So see, my entry on this was 50.73.25. So 50.73 quarter was right around, it was right near the top. I still withheld a little bit of drawdown. That was a good trade. You can see I took it off right just before 50.45. So $2,080 there, so 50.45. Yep, right around here. This is right where I took it off. So we came up, down, right to my trend line, and I was out from there. So quick explanation of why I took those trades, why I exited those trades, and that was, it's pretty simple explanation for why I entered. So if you have any questions, let me know, and if not, then I will catch you all in the chat.